It all began with a single tweet, but by the week's end, fans were witnessing what seemed like a new civil war unfold before their eyes. What started as a vague message from SZA about Mercury retrograde has escalated into a chaotic and deeply personal conflict between her and Nicki Minaj. With Drake and Kendrick Lamar still at odds, it's hard not to view this latest fallout as a continuation of the larger battle that has dominated hip-hop throughout the year. Welcome to Celebrity Cookies, where the tea is always hot and the stories come with sprinkles of surprise. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment with your take on the story. The rivalry has evolved beyond just Drake versus Kendrick. It has transformed into a clash between Drake and Nicki Minaj against Kendrick Lamar and SZA. This is a genuine tag team showdown between two of the most powerful duos in rap and R&B. If this latest development is any indication, the conflict has transcended music and become personal. Let's examine the tweet that sparked the fire. SZA, coming off a successful European leg of her grand national tour with Kendrick, shared what appeared to be an innocuous message to her followers. Mercury retrograde. Don't take the bait, lol silly goose. There were no names mentioned, and nothing in the tweet suggested any underlying tension, just a typical astrology post, similar to many she has shared over the years. However, Nicki Minaj interpreted it differently. According to sources close to the situation, the tweet followed shortly after Nicki made a subtle jab at Anthony Top Dog Tiffith, better known as Punch, the TD executive who manages SZA. Fans quickly began to connect the dots. Nicki criticizes Punch, and SZA posts about not taking the bait. To many, it appeared that SZA was calling Nicki out for picking fights she couldn't win. Nicki wasted no time. Within hours, her Twitter account was filled with a series of sharp, thinly veiled tweets. Although she didn't initially mention SZA by name, the tone, timing, and context made it clear. She made comments about industry puppets, celebrities hiding behind cosmic excuses, and R&B singers who only shine when they have a rapper on their track. Then came a particularly harsh tweet where Nicki seemed to mock SZA's appearance, implying that she was buying curves and still couldn't buy respect. SZA didn't back down. She responded in her trademark calm yet direct manner. I don't give a fuck about none of that weird shit you popping. It was brief and pointed, signaling that she wouldn't allow Nicki to control the narrative. And just like that, the internet went into a frenzy. The feud was officially on. This was more than just personality clashes or passive-aggressive tweets. It felt rooted in deeper issues, respect, insecurity, and perhaps even territory. Nicki Minaj has long asserted her dominance in the female rap hierarchy, fiercely defending her position. Throughout her career, she has shown a pattern of not wanting to share the crown, whether it was with Lil' Kim, Cardi B, or Megan Thee Stallion. But SZA, she's not a rapper, she's an R&B artist. Yet, for some reason, she became Nicki's next target. Why? This time, the focus isn't solely on two women in the industry. It's about their partnerships. Kendrick Lamar and SZA function as a team, much like Drake and Nicki Minaj. They have collaborated musically, supported one another, and recently found themselves on opposing sides in a major rap feud. So, when SZA seemed to indirectly criticize Nicki, and Nicki retaliated with harsh words, it quickly became clear to fans that there was a larger context at play. We are witnessing the continuation of the Drake versus Kendrick rivalry, but now it involves the women who have played significant roles in their careers. The dynamic between the two pairs has never been more apparent. Drake and Nicki have been loyal allies since their early days with Young Money, while SZA and Kendrick have toured together, created Grammy-nominated tracks, and consistently praised each other. This conflict is unfolding along those same lines. Things intensified further when Nicki introduced streaming statistics into the discussion. In a subsequent tweet, Nicki alleged that SZA and Kendrick had lost almost 30 million bot streams, suggesting their numbers were artificially boosted and that the industry was finally catching up to this issue. This shocking claim echoed recent legal and public controversies surrounding streaming fraud, bot activity, and fake plays. What made it even more surprising was that Nicki herself had reportedly experienced similar bot removals, something she dismissed, claiming her situation was irrelevant by comparison. However, fans were skeptical. Many highlighted the hypocrisy in Nicki calling out SZA and Kendrick for something that affects nearly all top artists, including herself. Others speculated that the timing of her tweets was less about streaming ethics and more about jealousy. The reality is that SZA is enjoying one of the best years of her career. Following a hugely successful tour with Kendrick Lamar, filled stadiums, critical acclaim, and undeniable chemistry on stage, she has reached a new level of prominence. She's no longer just the background R&B artist, she's now a leading figure. And that ascent may have made her a rival. Nicki's history with other women in the industry is complex, marked by conflicts, public disputes, and instances where support turned to silence. Whenever a new female artist gains traction, the question arises, how will Nicki respond? Will she support or oppose? Unfortunately, it's often the latter. SZA, on the other hand, isn't one to engage in Twitter feuds. She is soft-spoken, emotional, and deeply spiritual. But she is also strong-willed. This isn't the insecure SZA from the Control era. This is the 2025 version who has performed for over 1 million fans, shared stages with Kendrick Lamar, and consistently demonstrated that her voice holds significant influence, both in the studio and beyond. The divide is now unmistakable. Drake and Nicki, who once represented a generation, are struggling to stay relevant and maintain their status in a rapidly changing industry. In contrast, Kendrick and SZA are cultivating something new, an approach rooted in artistry rather than algorithms. Fans are taking sides. On one side, there's Team OVO/Barbs, loyal to Drake's charisma and Nicki's impressive catalog. On the other, supporters of TD, drawn to Kendrick's lyrical depth and SZA's emotional honesty. What makes this moment particularly significant is that it transcends music. It touches on identity, power, and the future of hip-hop and R&B. Whether intentionally or not, the lines have been drawn. The internet perceives this as a battle between two powerful duos. The real question isn't just about who tops the charts. It's about who captures the cultural heart. Nicki Minaj's criticism of SZA may appear rash, but it likely stems from deeper insecurities. The industry is evolving. New queens are emerging. Old alliances are dissolving. Once the uncontested queen of rap, Nicki now faces challengers from all directions. Some critics argue she reacts defensively when feeling threatened, while others believe she's simply safeguarding her legacy. Regardless, her frequent conflicts with female artists raise an unsettling question. Why does she repeatedly find herself in these situations? Is it the industry's fault? Is it personal? Or does Nicki simply refuse to relinquish a crown she believes is rightfully hers? For SZA, the criticism might feel daunting, but the feud with Kendrick Lamar has shown that TD artists withstand pressure. They respond with precision, silence, and artistry. Ultimately, this may highlight the key difference between the two factions. Drake and Nicki, they share their thoughts online, posting and tweeting. Kendrick and SZA, they focus on building, creating, and working quietly until it's time to express themselves through their music. So what happens next? Nicki's tweets are still visible. SZA has gone silent. Drake hasn't said anything. Kendrick, as usual, observes from afar. However, fans understand that this isn't finished. The tension is palpable, the sides are clearly defined, and the stakes are significant. The industry is paying attention. Fans are making their guesses. And amidst all this commotion, the future of two generations of artists is at stake. What began as a verbal conflict could potentially culminate in music. But judging by the tone of recent months, this is more than just a feud. It's about legacy. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on this story.